Well, POC stocks, they've been taking a hit this year with names like Tilray down more than 70%. But despite talks in the industry bubble maybe bursting, some investors are still lighting into the space. We're going to get to Jane Wells at this year's largest marijuana business conference, which, of course, is in Las Vegas. Jane.
Hey, Brian, let me show you the good and the bad. First, the good. Some companies are doing well, like Planet 13 Holdings. They own the largest legal marijuana store in the world. They are cash flow positive. They have 3,000 customers a day. All right, the bad, how the big publicly traded companies have fared as the legal business model, even in Canada, just isn't rolling out as quickly as expected. A veteran investor, Danny Moses, says expect more or some M&A next year. See these companies issue new stock to try to gin up more cash. And he says be a little cautious about this rush into hemp and the whole CBD craze.
And I think one of the things in the CBD market that still remains to be seen is there really CBD in the product? And I think as you test some products that are out there, I would imagine you're going to find that there's not, whether that's intentional or not, but that's a whole nother thing down the road. But consumers should pay attention to that.
Now, meantime, it's the biggest MJBizCon ever, over 35,000 people, and you never know who you're going to run into here. I mean, they let anyone in here.
I think a little bit of a reality check year over year. We were in such a different place last year. It was Dutch flowers. And I think the promise of 2019 is probably not the baseline for 2020, but I think build off of that for investors because you've actually shaken out a lot of dead wood.
And finally, just in time for Christmas, cannabis for Christians. As entrepreneurs search for new markets, here's a new one. A guy who used to be the head of original programming at MTV has a bunch of new cannabis ventures, including God's Greenery.
What we found is that there's this wave of Christians that really view CBD as God's gift of healing as they look at taking control of their health and wellness journey.
Okay, up next, no lie, he says he's been approached about kosher cannabis. Ryan?
Kosher cannabis. Okay, I like it. Jane, here's a quick question. Is there any actual pot at the marijuana business conference?
No, you can't have it in here. Actually, we saw a drug-sniffing dog here this morning at
How'd
a
that
pot
go?
conference. Let me give you an idea, though. Well, he came up empty. Look at these plants back here. So since you can't bring actual marijuana in here, when they show off the growing products, they have to bring in regular garden plants to do it. So yeah, no pot in here. Smelled a little of it outside, but nothing inside.
Very interesting. I can't
Even though it's
imagine
legal
that
in
drug
Nevada,
sniffing
but
dog.
not in here.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a little bit busy. I mean, just people walking. Who knows? Jane Wells, thank you very much. Great stuff. All right, so we should note, you just saw Tim Seymour, and of course, as you know, he's all in on cannabis. You can read all of his disclosures on our website. All right, what is your take on the pot stocks heading into next year, BK?
They actually look somewhat interesting to me. I think, to the point that you had this big bubble and then it's now bust and you're starting to see some of the kind of the froth go out of it. You look at something like a Canopy Growth and how that has traded recently starts to tell me that maybe some investors are taking shots here. The issue you have, obviously, is they're not earning money quite yet, and the regulatory change has taken a lot longer than I expected. But if you're looking to get into the space for the longer term, I think a Canopy Growth at these levels is not a bad place to dip your toe in.
So I think after a 70-ish% pullback, valuations are much more reasonable right now. So I tend to like the multi-state operators. So Green Thumb is my favorite in the space.
You're still talking about not most states. I mean, what is
Correct.
it, 16? I think it's legal in the
Yeah.
number may be off, but you're not buying a product that is legally available in most states.
Correct, yeah. So, I mean, Green Thumb, they operate in 12 states right now. They've got over 100 licenses. They're only utilizing 25-ish of those licenses, so they can easily quadruple revenues over the next few years without additional legalization. Of the 12 states they're in, 5 to 6 are likely going to be approved for full adult use over the next 2 years, so I think there's pretty good potential there.
Okay.